Greetings all and welcome to my latest vlog. Today I want to focus on the reality of sexual harassment and abuse that happens within our entertainment industry. I've spoken about this on many platforms before. This isn't something new to many people, and we understand and know that sexual harassment is part of the bigger, broader crisis that our country faces, and that is of gender-based violence. And so I speak from experience, and I will share some of my experiences, as well as experiences of other survivors. Of course, I have their permission because I won't be using their names. But I needed to include my personal experiences so to prove that a lot of the intimidation and gaslighting that happens is very real. I felt that I needed to record this vlog for all actors, and I say the word actor, not actress or actor, because there are different levels of abuse that we have all endured, and especially within our industry. 20 years ago, we couldn't talk about it. Now we can. However, the intimidation and the fear is still there. People's careers are crushed because they've spoken out. I know, because I'm speaking from experience. And so this message is for the actors, especially those ones coming into the industry, the ones who have spent many years studying and perfecting a craft. And all they want to do is come to work on that craft, and ignite those passions. And yet they're stopped or distracted because of perverted suggestions and comments and their pain and trauma being undermined. So to all of those who have suffered and are still suffering whatever form of sexual harassment, whether it's verbal abuse, physical, sexual, whatever, your pain is valid. Many times we are silenced. We're told that, are you sure it really happened? Or why are you seeking attention on this? These are all different tactics of gaslighting. Another point which for the industry is very important, and there are a lot of different production companies that are open, and people often work with contracts. Contracts are incredibly important, but it's also important to read your contract fully and understand it. The last production that I was on obviously read my contract, and there were specific clauses that spoke to nudity, sex scenes, and so forth. And of course I signed it because I agreed with it. Yet scripts came through which suggested I do other things. And when I complained, obviously went through my agent. My agent was supposedly speaking to production. I believed that they were on my side, until I realized actually my emails and conversations were going nowhere because the same level of scripts was still coming through. Finally sat down with a meeting with production, and the first level of intimidation that came through was from the head producer, was, well, you didn't tell us you didn't want to do this. And I was like, well, read my contract, the contract you gave me, clause 20.221, I think it was. It said in black and white that I was not prepared to do that. And that is where I was being able to hold my power, because I had knowledge behind me. Conversation ended, apologies were made, it will not happen again. 2 days later, another script came through. Then when I realized that, okay, this one's not going to back down, I get a call from my agent. And the first thing she said to me was, well, if you speak too much, nobody will want to work with you in the industry. After 25 years of being in the industry, and after maybe 15 years of her handling my books, I clocked her, and of course, fired her on the spot. then the message that came through from the producer was, well, I better get used to it because that's what the character demands. Actually, no. The character demands what I give it and what I've agreed to do. So it's very, very important to understand the power that's in a contract and your rights as a performer. Another clause in the contract states that if you arrive on set drunk or drugged, that is a violation in itself. Same production, a male actor came on, was hungover, was running back and forth to the bathroom vomiting. Unfortunate for him, he was supposed to do kissing scenes and love scenes with me, which I had agreed to, which was just kissing, it wasn't sexual. And I put tools down, spoke to production and said, well, this is what the situation was. They had agreed that he was still drunk, that he still reeked of alcohol. And their first instance was, well, we'll give him a peppermint or a chewing gum. And I was like, no, we will not do these scenes today. And I could not get fired because I was within my right. And I understand many actors cannot do that because they are creating their brand. And this is why we speak up. Because what happened to me and what has happened to so many other actors, I don't want, and we don't want, and wish it upon anybody that's coming in our footsteps afterwards. Then another trait and another trend that is happening with unscrupulous producers, and please note, when I speak about these producers, there are many, many producers and directors and production houses that have respect and follow proper protocol. But we're talking about the nasty ones. So the latest thing now is the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement. The minute somebody makes a complaint, this is whipped out and they're forced to sign it. You do not have to sign it, because what it does, it is silencing you from ever talking about that perpetrator, ever talking about that production house or producer, and suppressing your pain and ignoring your trauma. We've seen it happen too many times. And so what is the solution? Well, yeah, we've been fighting this for a long, long time. Some of us have been in this space for nearly 2 decades, and we still haven't reached that solution or anywhere near. Because as I said, it's part of the bigger crisis of gender-based violence. But for now, as performers, as artists and actors, hold your power and know what your rights are. If you see something happening to another fellow cast member or crew member, and you know that they feel that they don't have the agency, because everyone does have the agency, but we've got to build that up. Step in support of them. Too many filmmakers and directors are notorious for doing atrocious things to young actresses and young actors. And it's become the norm and the joke, well, yeah, well, that's what he does. No. He's not doing that anymore, and we need that collective support. So to the producers out there is that if a complaint is put through, please, it's not about that bottom line. It's not about reaching that TX or getting that production done. You're talking about somebody's psyche and emotional well-being. Do the right thing. Get a counselor on board. And I'm not talking about a 20-minute session or about online counseling. We need proper therapy. Hold the people and perpetrators accountable. Look at your contracts. Do your contracts have a clause of sexual harassment? If they do, then you have if they don't, then you have a problem. And lastly, to the actors out there that have been through this, I believe you. Thanks for watching.